it's April. I just wanted to come on. This is day 3, and this is our freebie file. And this is just a little tea light candle from Dollar Tree. You turn that on, and hopefully you can see there in the photos. Got a little tea light going on in there in the little building. This is out of Design Space. The snowflake is free, I believe. But you may want to replace this piece if you don't have access. So let's go ahead and put this together. This is my mock-up, so it's a little bit messy, but we're gonna do one here and get it going. So if you have a maker, I'm going to suggest that you go in and you change the score lines on the house to or the church to a perforation. And don't bend them too hard because you don't want it to snap apart. It's going to be easier to fold that way. Now, if you want to contour it and replace them so that only these tabs, these are the ones that I had the issue with, but only on the steeple part. But I just went ahead and changed all of mine to that perforation just to make it easy. This is a score line because I added and welded this piece on, and these are score lines. Same thing, I added those for the file. So there's no need to change those to perforation unless you just want to, okay? So we have that piece, and then you have your steeple pieces. And it's like I said, if you've got a maker and you've got that perf tool, it's going to make that fold right there so much easier. If not, just use your scraper and set it up there and bend it along the edge. It's tiny, so if you've got something smaller than that scraper, that might work too. I had issue with mine. You can see there doing it that way, but the perforation is working beautifully. So I'm just going to turn those in and get those ready. Okay, so now we have everything folded, and we're going to start with the steeple piece. And I'm just using some art glitter glue here. You can use what you have. Just a tiny bit of glue down that tab. And we're going to bring this piece in and line that up right on that fold. Like so. And give that a second to dry. And then I am going to bring this piece in, and we're going to glue that. And you can do the steeple part first if you want to, or this part, totally up to you. I'm just doing the sides first while I can get my fingers in there and press down on it. Get it to line up. Just like so. And then I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on each one of those tabs and this top tab, just like that. And then I'm going to place the one that has the top piece in first. Just give that glue time to kind of set up. I may have to add some more. You might want to wait on those. They're so small. Just going to give that time to grab. Might need your tweezers to go in there and pinch it just a little bit. Get these. That might help because it's so small. And while that's still tacky, I'm going to go in there and grab it. Just going to pinch it down. Okay. And I wiped off most of my glue, so I'm just going to add a little bit more here. Alright, and I'm just going to bring that into a point. Top. And the tweezers definitely helped. Made it much easier this go around than fighting it the last one. So I've got my little steeple piece. I'm just going to set that to the side. And now we have our two base pieces. And I'm just going to put glue on this tab here and bring this piece in and line it up. Give it a rub. This one's a little easier to work with. It's a little larger. And then I am going to, before I go any further, I've got this little tea light from the Dollar Tree, and it's got a little button on the bottom so that you can turn it on, okay? But these can vary in size. So from the bottom with it like this, from the bottom, I'm just going to push that over my tea light. And it's snug. If you want to make yours a little bit bigger, you can. But it's just going to work it right over the top of it, just like that. And then I'm just going to pull it back out. And that's going to make the hole big enough and keep it taut all at the same time so it's not falling off. And then I'm just going to dab some glue on each one of these little circular pieces. And I'm going to walk this around just so I can, just something to hold it, because it's going to go on top of that snowflake. You're not going to see this base. You don't need a big, long, wide tab unless you just want one. You could put a wide one across the back if you want. Just weld one on. I just didn't feel it needed it. Well, I can get my hand in there. You're not going to see any of this. And again, I'm just going to put a dab of glue and run my bone folder in there. Line that base up. Turn that one in. Wants to be a little tricky. Give it a rub. And get it to stick first. It is kind of small. There we go. And I'm just rubbing those tabs down. Okay. Just enough to get them to stick is all we want. Doesn't need to be anything more than that. And then I'm just going to stick my glue in here and do that final tab. We're going to stick it. I'm going to place it down. You can see in there. I'm just going to rub that tab down. Oops. Not pull it off. I'm having trouble with my cardstock today. Not wanting to grab as quick as normal. Oh, it's smooth. That's why. I'm used to working with textured and it grabs faster. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a couple of dots on all of these, just like we did the steeple. Okay, and across this top piece. Then I'm just going to press that one down, keeping my edges even, nice and even here. Keep it all squared up. I'm going to take my tweezers again and give it a pinch just to get it to grab where I want it. There we go. And then we're going to close this one in on top of those. We're just going to hold it until it grabs that glue. Okay. Super cute, super easy. And you can go ahead and put your tea light in. Just kind of twist it. Don't force it hard. You don't want to tear your cardstock. Oops, actually I'm going to pull that back out. Like that. Mine's not dry. Make sure yours is dry before you do this. Just gonna hold that. The one with the hole in it, or the star in it, that's the one you want next. And I'm just going to put a little dab of glue right around the middle. Okay. And then we're going to place it over the hole, just like that. Now you can put your tea light in. Doesn't matter which way you line that up, and just twist it. Don't push until it pops down. And if you have trouble making it pop down, take your tweezers, go inside, and just push down around the bulb through the little windows, okay? And it should pop on there. It shouldn't fall off when you turn it upside down. And next we're going to do our steeple. And with these pieces kind of pushed up, you don't want them pushed all the way in because we want them to give some resistance. We're just going to, it looks like I got that one off just a tiny bit. I'm gonna trim mine. Should have made a point, and it's not making a point there. I'll put that to the back. This side looks good. Had mine glued just a little bit off. So there, I've got my glue on both sides of that, and the back has no windows, so we want to put the steeple up towards the front. So we're just going to hold that in place until it grabs a little bit. And if you can get your tweezers in there by that bell and go in and push it down, that might help too. Hot glue would probably be better for putting the steeple on. Just worry about one side grabbing at a time, putting pressure on it. You can come back and glue again on the other side if you need to. There we go. So I've got my little steeple on, and now I am going to take just a foam dot. This is just a foam piece of sticky foam, and I'm going to place that right on top. And don't worry about this snowflake lining up. It doesn't have to line up. I'm going to show you how you can do that. And we're just going to stick that down just so that that circle gives you a place, the cutout gives you a place to turn your bulb on and off. I'm going to grab my tea light, not my snowflake, and we're going to switch that on. There we go. Mine's brand new. It's kind of stiff. And then if you want the snowflakes to line up, you can, or if you want them like this, you can. Just twist the top until it lines up like you want it, and it's good to go. I kind of like mine offset. Well, snowflake. So there you have it. Super easy, super simple, cute little decoration for the tops of your tables or your fireplace mantles, and you don't have to worry about anything catching fire. And you can do that with that whole little town, guys. I believe that I made that church, the base is 2 inches across. So if you want to resize the other pieces of that are in design space and make the whole village, you could do that. Super easy, super simple, super cute. This is day 3 of the monthly supporter files. And this is a card, and it's playing on our Let It Snow theme. And I'm just going to fold that over, and you can see this is one of the edge cards, but I put it in the middle instead of on the edge. I really like the look of that. And we did some little curved edges on there, and I'm not putting together the envelope, but I do have an envelope in the file for you guys. This card is an A2, so you can cut it on your joy machines. If you want to cut it on your joys, you could do that. Just grabbing my Vellum tape runner. Now this is Vellum from Michael's that I'm using. Just to cover what I am using for you guys. What's wrong? Stack. This is the Vellum that I'm using from Michael's. And this is what I cut my snowflakes from. And this is a holographic paper from Michael's. Comes in gold and things like that too. And then I just used a white cardstock base, and you can use Cricut, whatever you have there. And then this is a piece of specialty paper that I got from Tonic Studios in one of my craft kits. And it was just so pretty. I wanted to use that on this card. Now, on a paper like this, if you're buying a specialty or a handmade paper, I cut this with my rotary blade. I just do my setting on light cotton, anything light. This is a little heavier than crepe paper, so I went with a light cotton on this and cut it with my rotary blade so that my blade didn't hang up on those embossed pieces. So if you want to do that, you can. So you're just going to fold your card in half and give that seam a rub with your bone folder. And then you can use, and that's why this piece is so big, you can use a smaller piece. I just didn't resize it in the file. Oops, I didn't want to go all the way across there, hopefully. I was just going to go down the side. Take my, and rub that off really quick in that opening. You don't want to put adhesive where it's going to be a part of that, because it's not going to get covered. That should do it. So just want to double check that. And go down the other side. This is a tape runner. I get this from Amazon. It's called glue tape. And they make one for Vellum and different things. And I did it again. Don't want to go all the way across. Habit. Just, you can rub it off before you get there. There we go. And so we're just going to, now I have some of the ooey gooeys on there from where I rolled it off, but that's okay. Just going to place it in, and that's going to be hidden, so I hope. I got some of the yuck off of my desk on there. Let me pause and grab my glue eraser. Okay, so here we are. Just gonna, you can get one of these off of Amazon too. I didn't like that it had picked up some of the glue off of my mat. It looks like they had paper fibers in it, and it was showing up on that white, and I just didn't want it to show through. So hopefully that will take care of it. So then we're just going to place that on the card, and then we're just going to get my glue. Always, always, always on live. Always happens. I was just working with it and it was fine. Let's try that again. There we go. So we're just going to put some glue around this piece, and we're going to stick that panel right down on there. Give it a nice little edge. And then we're going to do the same with this piece. Don't need a whole lot, just a little bit of glue. I'm using art glitter glue on this. You can get it from artglitter.com. And I'm just lining this up right on the edge of the vellum. So it's very important to get your vellum right in place where you want it. I have, this paper is kind of like a fabric, and I got a little place right there that had some fibers. I'm going to get those off of there. keep that nice and smooth. Just gonna put a touch of glue to bring those fibers back up where they need to be. There we go. Love, love, love. That's so pretty. And then you're gonna be able to see your snowflakes from underneath. Okay, and if you're worried about them lifting up on the inside, you can do a little dot of glue on there. It's not going to show through your vellum because you're going to put your snowflakes on the top, but it should be fine. But if you feel like you need to glue those down, then you can do that. You can put some glue on them before you put your vellum down. It would be best. And then we're just going to line up. All of the snowflakes are the same size. We're just going to line them up and place them on top. And I think I'm going to use some foam dots for these. Let's put that in there. Yeah. Make sure I got the right size ones here. And you can get these from Close to My Heart, from Judy. These are the thin ones. Just want to make sure that I'm lining up here. I'm going to have to lift it so I can see. And that looks pretty good. So I've got my foam dot, and now I'm just going to come in here behind these with a little touch of glue because I don't want those lifting up, and that's just going to help me hold it in place. And I'm just putting just a teeny tiny dot just on the tip ends of these. Art glitter dries matte and clear. Just do that one side at a time. I'm just going to hold it down and let that stick. I said, there's that. That was glue from the vellum tape. I knew I saw it on there somewhere on that mat. Now I have it. All right. And now I'm going to just kind of bend my card just a teeny tiny bit so I can see under there and glue down those other three. I don't want a whole lot of glue on there. Don't want it squishing out or anything. I just want enough to stick. And you can put it on there before if you want to. Totally up to you. I just feel that I can get it where I need it this way a little bit easier without it smearing all over the vellum. That's what I'm trying to avoid here. So I don't want it smeared on the vellum. So the pop dot allows me to get everything lined up and then not smear glue everywhere because I can come back after it's stuck and then we can put just a teeniest dot of glue on these pieces. Get this stuck down. And I really like this cardstock from Michaels. I didn't think I was going to like it because it had that craft board backing on it, but when it cuts it's white on the edges, so it kind of blends in really well. And you know, if it's white and we don't like it against a dark area, we can use our Copic markers and color the edges of the paper and take care of that. So I gave it a shot and I'm really happy with it. And now we've got this last one. Not a lot of wiggle room on the size of that. I don't want that to show through either. And it kind of helps me to open it up so I can see. Just lie that down and stick it. And this is part of the day 3 theme, in case you missed it when I stated it before, if you didn't watch the freebie project on this video. This is our Let It Snow theme day on day 3. Make sure you come back for day 4 and also come back for the annual supporters file coming up after this one. How pretty is that? I wish you guys were here to see how pretty that is. And you can make it go this way too if you want. I'm not sure if I want to pop dot this too. I think that I do. I'm going to grab, and I'm using the thin ones again. If you're using the thick ones, just look at it and see if you want to do both or one. And I am putting a couple of extra on here just so it stays, if it goes through the mail, it doesn't collapse in the center here. Peel off your release liners. And now I'm going to put a couple on the back. And I'm just, I think I'm going to tuck that at an angle, like so. Love. So that is our Let It Snow card for monthly supporters. And again, because this is a little bit larger, and I left a piece in there, didn't I? Let's see if I can squeeze that out. There we go. Super, super pretty. Love, love, love. I hope you guys enjoyed this file. All right, so let's move on over to the box for annual supporters. Okay, guys, here we are, day 3 with the Christmas in July, and we are doing a box. Now, I'm using some extras that I have. I'm using some Nuvo glitter drops in Midnight Sky, which is like a dark navy blue. And I use some mica mist, which is also from Nuvo. I get this from Tonic Studios, and this is called Midnight Horizon. And all I did was hold my paper over the trash can and lightly misted it. And you're going to get some splatters. That's the beauty of it. But it adds a little bit of sparkle and shine and color to it. So that is going to be the bottom of my box. Now, I didn't want to do the inside. I wanted to leave it plain because I am using Cricut foil acetate, and I believe that's the pearl one out of that pack. And then I used the navy blue, black, and I used some more of that holographic silver from Michael's that you saw in the video portion where I did the card. So let's go ahead and put this together. And I did use the personalized box to create this. However, the skates were in just 2 layers and not really what I wanted. So I did some surgery on those to get this box out for us. It is an Access image, so if you're not an Access subscriber, you would have to purchase that image. The rest should be free shapes. The snowflake that I used was, it was free when I did it, and I believe the Let It Snow was too. But I did have to purchase some images to make this file for you guys. So just be aware of that if you don't have access. I have strongly encourage it, especially this time of the year where you can get the supplies and the deals and use that discount. Get ready for all of your Christmas stuff. So we've got everything folded on the lid. Now before I glue that lid together, I'm going to go ahead and put my acetate in there. And you're just, one side of this has a plastic film. Hopefully I'm on the right side. So I'm just going to be up in the corner of it. And I did get it right. And we're just going to peel that film off. And that's just going to give it that nice, bright, clear shine. Now I am putting that side to the inside of the box. And the reason is that plastic coating's on there to protect that pearl. So I'm going to have that to the inside. But if you want to do it to the outside, you most certainly can. It might even get less handling, but I figure if they keep it and they stack stuff on it, you don't want to mess that up. Now I'm going to use my tape runner, I believe. No, I might use some tearing tape for this. Let me grab that really quick. And this is just some terrible tape. I know that sounds like terrible tape, but it's not terrible tape. It's great tape. And we're just going to run it down along that edge and tear. Tearing tape. Terrible. And I want to make sure that I'm getting that in there where my tape isn't going to show or pop through. There we go. And make sure we keep it on that lower edge. This one's a little thick, but I'm going to make it. It's going to work. And you can get this at Hobby Lobby, and I believe Stampin' Up! May carry it. I don't know, Hobby Lobby. I know all of the craft supply stores does have it. Just gonna stay right up on that edge. And we should be good without getting in the decorative area or the areas that show. And I'm just going to peel that off on one side. I'm just going to fold it over here so that I can place it. Just get that release liner started and fold it back. And now I'm just going to position that into the box. Give that a good rub. And then I'm just going to peel those tapes out. Just like so. Give that a rub. And the last one. I'm gonna rub that down. So now we have that. And what I do to hide the tapes is I have this frame. Now you can eliminate this piece if it doesn't bother you, but I like to cover that. So I'm gonna use my tape runner. I thought I had it right here handy, but maybe not. So in that case, I'm just going to use art glitter glue. It will stick, but I have had it pop loose from the acetate before. But I live in a very humid area, so in the south, I'm just going to use some more tearing tape. Just go along that edge. I want to try to keep that paper flat as well when you're doing that. I got a little warp in that side, but I'm going to live with it. I think I can make it work. And there we go. And the same thing, I'm just going to pull that release liner back. On all four sides. Now we're going to bring in this lid, and I'm just going to line up that corner, peel that out. We should be fine there. I'm going to press down this corner, peel that out, and press down that corner, making sure it's all good and flat. And there we go. Nothing sticky on the inside. If you got some sticky on there, get your glue eraser and you can get that off. Good. So now we're going to glue up our lid. And well, actually, I think I may go ahead and do the decorative top first. Go ahead. I think so. So I'm just going to use a little art glitter glue, hopefully. It doesn't want to be a pain. My fine tips always give me a pain, but I love them. It helps give me that fine bead of glue. Probably need to soak this one. It's been on here for a while. We're just going to put our glue on there. Here we go. And we're going to place that right on the box. Just like so. And you're going to have area down here where it doesn't meet. You just want to line this up on this back edge and up here at the front. Don't worry about this one overhanging. It's going to be fine. Okay. And this one goes right up to the edge of the box. So I'm going to do that. Next, we're going to put on the heel pieces or the soles of the skates. And this one doesn't have the stem on it. It goes on the bottom. We're just going to go in and line that up and put it right at the bottom. And now this one has that very thin piece. And mine didn't cut very well, or I didn't peel very well, I should say. So I'm going to have to work with it. I'm going to get that a good bit of glue right there on that end. Okay. And I'm just going to, oops, I didn't peel that very good at all, or either it just didn't cut well. I had little hair fibers. There we go. So now I'm just going to place that right in and lay that down, and then I'm just going to walk this piece right up to create an illusion that we have the boots cut off there. And the reason I did that was to help when I do my Nouveau drops for my laces. So next, I need to put on the skate runners. And then, of course, the short one is going to go here. And a little bit of that blue may peep out from under that, and it's okay. That's just the nature of the beast when you have to cut a file apart. I got it as close as I possibly could to fitting back in there. Super cute. And it's going to give it that illusion of a shadow layer as well to make it, give it a little bit more depth if you're using a dark colored box top. And then we're going to bring this one in. And get that one put right on in there. Super cute. And I'm loving that iridescent on there. or holographic, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to place my tip in there right for my glue. That's what it is. I think there's glue on my pen and I'm clogging that up myself. There we go. If I can get that back in there. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to pull my mat over here because when I work with smaller pieces, I like to cut that mat last and leave those pieces on the mat so I don't lose them. I'm just going to peel this off. This is a glitter paper from Tonic Studios. If you need a link, I have my link tree down below and you can, oops, I'm sticking it to my papers. Don't want to do that. Let's move that out of the way. So I'm going to start with my snowflake. And I want to make sure that I'm lining it up properly. And now it will go over the skate just a tiny bit, and that's okay. Just get all those little tips. I don't want it to peel up. And then we're going to line that up. That goes right to the edge of the skate, not on top of it. And that glue that's squishing out there on that blue box will dry matte and clear, so I'm okay with that. Okay. But this is really pretty. You can see where it lifted off my mat. I had to change mats and get a new mat. But this is really pretty from Tonic Studios. It's got like a black, silver, and blue in there. Really, really, really pretty. And now we're going to start with our word let. And if you can't get yours up off your mat, if you're using a new mat, use your spatula. I'm not using mine, I know, but I'm just taking my time and going easy. Kind of rolling my mat to lift it up. I'm going to leave my dots on there and just get my words. Come on. There we go. So got that. And my exclamation. I'm leaving my dots for the moment so that I don't lose them while I'm doing this part. And we're just going to glue those down. Get those little bitty tips. Okay. And we'll get this one. We're almost done. This is a really quick box, but it gives a big wow. Smooth that out. Let's see, I lost my tweezers, the ones I wanted anyway. Can you see? So, and make sure I get that in there. All right, so now the dots, and then we can finish up the box. And the reason I kept these on there, one is smaller than the other, I believe, so I wanted to make sure that I got the right one. And it might be wise to kind of glue And I hate it because you'll see that from the underneath side. But that is so delicate that I am going to put just a dot of glue of the art glitter behind that dot on the box. It won't be that noticeable, but just put a dot right there just to hold that on because it is going to be delicate. And get my little exclamation here. And it is going to leave a shadow on the inside of the box there. And that last dot. All right, now I'm going to let that dry while we do the base of the box, and then we'll glue up the sides. And the base, we're just going to fold on all the score lines. Just like so. And then we're just going to glue all of our tabs to the inside. Okay. Keeping a nice flush square corner. I'm just going to flip it over. I'm just going to give that a rub and spread that glue around. I am using Cricut craft board for the base of my box, and you can get that on Cricut.com. There's a link down below. And my current promo discount code for the group is Santa10. In case you guys missed that announcement, it was DIY10, now it is Santa10. And it will be Santa10 until the end of the year, until January. So super easy to remember. I'm going to give that a good rub. Spread that glue out, make sure everything is still square. And the reason I use the Cricut craft board for the base is if you put in several items or items that get a little heavy, you don't want your box to twist and collapse while you're trying to hand it to them. So if you use Cricut craft board for your base, it gives you a nice sturdy box. Now that's had a few seconds to dry. We're going to glue it up the same way as we did the base. All the tabs right to the inside and keep it square. Just pull that in. Got glue on my finger. Nice and square and flush. And now we're going to do this side too. Bend that back out of the way. And bring it in. And I'm just giving those edges a pinch where we're working on them and flatten them back out just so they aren't bowed out. And then we put that right on top. And now I'm going to use those Nouveau drops in the Midnight Sky. And I'm going to create my laces with this. Now, if you want to, you can use maybe a small ribbon and tuck them under the boot. Just kind of lace it and tuck them under and glue it. And then glue them onto your panel, and that way it won't show through the other side. But I'm just going to do like a optical illusion and do my little X's here on each one of these. And then I'm going to come up on this one. I'm going to come down. And you can do yours any way that you want. I'm just trying to create that illusion. And I think I did mine the wrong way on that one. Oops. See if I can clean some of that off. Not too bad. Oops, wrong bottle. Not too bad. We're messing up. Maybe I should go this way. That way it won't mess up so bad. I have a bow going here now. Maybe I'll do it this way. Give it that illusion. Anyway. And you don't even have to do this. You could skip this step. But just to give it something pretty on there. And now I'm going to get my bow and I'll be right back. We're going to place that right there and we'll be done. You need to let that dry about 30 minutes. Okay guys, I am still letting mine dry, but all I did was get a length of ribbon and I tied a bow in one end and then I came back and tied a bow in the other end. And the way that I did that was, I'm just going to scoot that out of the way, is I just pulled it off my ribbon spool and then gave myself a little bit of a tail on there and then looped it on both ends and tied a bow, okay? And then I just kind of fluffed it up. And then I pulled my ribbon out just a little bit further and I did the same thing again. Just made a loop around each finger and tied another bow. You want to give it a little bit more room than what I gave that. You just don't want to go too much. There we go. And then even up your bows. Make sure they're both about the same size. And then that's going to give you that loop in between. Now I did these and gave myself a pretty good loop because I'm going to place one at the top of each skate. And then I am just going to tie a little loop knot right here at the top so that it looks like that's where they were tied together and hanging. You don't have to do that, however you want to do yours. Oops. And I will show photos of, there we go. I think I've got mine far enough apart. You just need to test it. I'm probably going to pull that out and try it again, but I think, and I'm just going to glue that down. I think I have them far enough apart. That's the only thing you want to make sure that you get them far enough apart. But you can certainly do 2 single bows, however you want to do yours. Okay, and I'm just going to live with the way I've done mine and place it on my box. If I don't like it, I'm just going to go with this one and cut them apart. So make sure that you get your bows on there the way that you want. I hope you enjoyed this file, and I will catch you on the next video. See you on day 4.